All right, ready to roll. Last game, performances that were good. Up front, defensively, a lot of activity, not a lot of stats, but the way is hard as Nate Hoff, Patrick Doherty, Greg Gooch, very active, Ralph Green. Ralph had some strong leadership throughout the week in the game, so the front four guys were recognized just with a strong effort. We needed it. We played a lot of other guys that kept those main guys fresh. Two great skills, in on 14 tackles, 2 TFLs. Marcus Oliver, 10 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Quarterback hurry, forced fumble. John Crawford, not a lot of action. Ball didn't get his way, but was very, very good, playing with a lot of confidence. And Ashawn Riggins, as a freshman, 7 tackles, 1 great pass breakup on the 3rd down, and a really good big-time play for a young freshman in that situation. Really proud of him. Offensive line, Coy Crunk and Wes Martin. Best game that we've had to date with Jacob Bailey. And Brandon Knight also fought and played very hard and well. Danny Friend, 86%. He had 12 knockdowns at tight end. Both running backs recognized. Tyler Nantee, 33 yards after contact. Divine rating, 40 after contact. 1,900 yards, always tough sledding against Michigan State's front and their scheme. And to run the ball fair enough was a strong effort by those guys. Ricky Jones played well. 5 receptions, 124. Mitchell Page, 1 touchdown pass. Big time return he had for us. Richard Legos had some stats, but that's his best game. Settling down, fighting, finishing. Graded very, very well. 2 touchdown passes and 1 touchdown receiving. Not a lot of action in kicking. Got to clean still. Our field goal team has got to get better. Players of the game. Defensively, T. Gray Scales. Offensively, we recognized 2 guys, Richard Lego and Rick Jones. Special team player of the game is Chris Covington. Showed up very, very well in the kick cover. He's on 3 of our teams. Played his best game at linebacker as well. Really growing into the defensive mindset. Really healthy now off his knee. He had back-to-back high school and freshman year here with knee injuries. So I think he's just physically and mentally just stronger and more confident. And again, proud of him. Stallings, Albemonte, and Attar were our scout defensive players of the week, and Jack Trainer, Peyton Ramsey, our offensive scout team players of the week. Some really good plays in that game. Luke Timmons' catch was awesome. You know, the throwback, Mitchell making a play and under duress. You know, a couple of those touchdown catches were very impressive. Westbrook's fumble recovery, when the Michigan State guy got away from Divine going up and over and the ball got loose. Michigan State made an awesome play keeping in bounds. You know, Nick they get that ball, that was a point drive. So great effort to be there. Some things we really got to work on. We had 3 holding calls, a couple of them again in scoring zone situations that really hurt our offense. Busted coverage, gave up a pass. Richard missed a shot that should have been big play touchdown and floated one that got picked off. And Divine just taking care of the ball has got to clean up. Some big plays in the game, too, that people forget about. The blocked field goal, the first drive by Doherty, which is a huge difference in the game. The last 3 plays on defense, Tony Fields with a huge one-on-one tackle and the 2 sacks by Hoff and Doherty. Fumble recovery by Westbrook. I think Lego's resiliency and staying strong and confident, more mature down the stretch was great to see. The 4th quarter, our defense had a chance to make a finish, and they didn't. We've been down that road before. A little concern there. Matter of fact, somebody said after the game, you think about resting your defense when mathematically, and you never do that. But it's really great to see those guys respond and get a 3-play stop, because typically we've never done that. Would have been great to have gotten the stop and get them on schedule. We had a 4th down opportunity, a lot of chances. Credit Michigan State and their players for fighting to give them a chance to win the game. I was really proud of the defense for that overtime 1-2-3 stop deal. That was awesome. Offense, we're still missing some red zone opportunities. Our 3rd downs were better. Still need to work on that. We played hard. I don't know how well we played. We got so many things we can get good at, and we got to improve at. And then this week, we got Ohio State coming in. They're awfully good. You know, always are, but very, very talented. Again, to me, right now it starts with Coach Meyer and the standard that he and the staff set in recruiting, development, you name it, tradition, talent. They got players. They got a great program. and they're playing about as good as anybody in college ball right now. They're first basically in every offensive or defensive stat in the conference. So that'd be yards, points, rushing, time of possession, defense stops, defensive yards. They're first in every stat. We were looking for a statistical advantage, and we noticed their punter wasn't very good. And then we noticed he only had 11 punts. He's not registered. He would be first in the NCAA. So I don't know if you're a great punter, why you'd want to go to Ohio State, to tell you the truth, because they don't use it. But their punter is awesome. And there's a great football team, a great program. It's an awesome challenge, strong challenge, but it is what it is. It's Big Ten East football, and we're in the thick of it. So it was a nice win. It was a good win. But now it's Monday, and it's the next one. And here comes one of the premier teams and programs of college ball. Questions? All right, we're good.
Where was Jake Robinson this week?
He had concussion. Had an ankle. Hurt in the last game.
Coach, what kind of challenges with that offense?
Notice all those injured guys from one week to the next week. Wasn't the reason the week before, and wasn't the reason this week. You dance with who you got. So we always got to talk about medical. There's a bunch of guys played hard the other day. If y'all, anyway, just FYI. But it's that time of year, it's season. Like I say, our guys we're just trying to work them hard to get back in. We'll see again what Dan is. Demetric's out for a while with the back deal, and it might cost him the rest of his season. But I know that all the guys are working to get back, and our medical crew will do the best they can with them. But we've recruited well enough that, it's not the next guy up. It's not the next guy's got to pick up. Everybody's got to pick up. Because you don't replace Dan. It's everybody does their job better. It's not Jacob. It's everybody around him. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the deal. That's called team. And like I say, one individual, and you go through back, a couple years ago when Tevin's playing, those closing drives at Missouri and those closing drives at Purdue, he's on the bench. Because he couldn't go because of his condition he had. So you play with the guys that are out there. Unfortunately, we're not great yet, but we're getting better guys. And like I said, I'm proud of the team, and I think that's one of the things to concentrate on. Every team has injuries, deal with it, and our guys work hard to get back. But I'm really just like say, not just the guy that comes in, but the whole team's got to rally and step up, and that's what you do when you play in this conference and you play this game. That's what you got to do.
Just to follow up, Demetric, I think you said on the radio show, but he had like an actual surgical procedure.
Correct. Yeah, like a little disc. It had a bulging disc. Had to get trimmed. And does that take him through the season in the bowl? And he's a fifth-year guy. And, we'll just kind of see how it goes for him. But again, Brandon Knight's very talented. Played his best game. So.
What kind of challenges does a guy like Curtis Samuel present where he can, he's done damage both on the ground and in the passing game?
Well, all of them. They got a bunch of fast guys. He's a guy that can come from the perimeter to the backfield, can go from the backfield to the perimeter. So whether it be on the wheel passes and the jet sweeps, he's fast. To me, the credit to those guys and why I think they're such a strong team. Here's a kid that's been one of their most dynamic players, but has been patient through time. And now all of a sudden this year, we see a lot of guys get frustrated when their things not going their way. I think one of the premier players in college football is J.T. Barrett. And one of the reasons why he's probably one of the best teammates, because he battled through quarterback controversy as a great player. And that's why, to me, that's a credit to the program. And I think Samuel's a credit guy. He's a talented guy. It's a lot of skill. There's always a lot of skill. Everybody wants the ball. There's only one football. How many plays you get on the field? You see this guy now at the end of his career playing so dynamic. It's a credit to him and Coach Meyer and their staff for keeping those guys buying in to their team aspect, because he's a great individual, but he's a part of what is a really strong team. So he's fast, great playmaker. Like I say, you can't identify just him because you have to identify all their guys. The one receiver's making some unbelievable catches, but they all are. Tight end plays always been good. They lead the conference in rushing. Mike Weber's tremendous back. One of the best players in college football. They're talking about a lot of quarterbacks. J.T. Barrett is one of the absolute best players in college football. And so that's, to me, it's a cast of great, great, talented players. I respect the way they play as a team. And when you have all those skilled kids keeping their egos for the good of the team, that's a credit to the way those guys coach and play.
you were recruiting him, you kind of went down there with the whole package.
Who's this?
Nate T. You went down there with the whole package kind of.
I thought you said AT, like I was that old recruiting, like I got old all of a sudden there.
No. He said he went down there with the whole package kind of centered around him, pitching him on that. I mean, when you first saw his recruiting film, when you first heard about him, I mean, are your eyes getting big thinking of all the things he did?
Well, it was weird because I went down to see Lego and I had some time to kill and went to 2 really good schools and asked 2 coaches that I know very, very well from my time in Oklahoma, who's the best player around that's kind of no one's really recruiting that hard right now. And they said quarterback at Euless Trinity. And so 15 miles away, know that program well, had been there many times. I just drove in and called the coach. Matter of fact, didn't even get the coach on the phone. I walked in and said, hey, coach, I'm killing time. I'm here to see a kid later tonight. They say, you got this guy. Tell me about him. I think, well, he's a quarterback. He's a lefty. He's kind of short and heavy. And he goes, I don't think a lot of coaches assistant coaches are selling him to the head coach. I said, well, let me see the tape. And, he's basically doing a lot of, it wasn't a wildcat offense, but in his running style, he's basically like a wildcat. And he threw the ball, and that's why we threw it the other day with him. We tried. He doesn't have a bad arm. He had 2 years and 2,700 yards total offense. I just didn't think we had a big back like that. And in spread offenses, short yardage, it'd be nice to have a fullback. We had a kid at Oklahoma named Trey Millard that was awesome as a fullback. And Matt Clapp, who's our strength coach, was an awesome fullback. And we were a spread team. When we had that big back, we were a better team. And I just thought, hey, I'm the head guy making decisions. We don't have a guy like this. And I saw his tape. I liked him. I met him. I liked the look in his eye. I was afraid some other people might come in on him late. I think luckily enough that it just fell our way. I'm glad he's here. And he's got a chance to be a really good player.
Kevin, you talked about Pat Doherty a little bit, and his improvement, what he brings to the table, because he's a guy that doesn't get a lot of publicity and nobody talks about him very much, but he comes in and sees it.
Pat is different skill set, but much like some of those kids we're talking about from Ohio State, he's been a good teammate who's worked hard and gotten better, and it's taken time to get to where he's now contributing more. We need him to be better. But he's been a guy that, like in so many places, for us to be good. And we've talked earlier and made a comment about, a couple guys that are injured. My concern with injuries, the kid needs to get healthy, but we're a team where kids always have to keep getting better. And that means you're getting stronger and you're more mature and you're learning the game and you're growing each day as a player and as a man. And that's what Pat Doherty's done. I mean, he came in, kind of had a shoulder surgery in high school, so he wasn't very strong upper body. We didn't know if he might even develop into an O lineman or D lineman, but he's got a great mindset. He's matured. Again, I wouldn't say by any means he's one of our best players, but he's got enough confidence now. He's playing hard in that rotation where guys are playing hard. He's got enough confidence. He's coming on. I'm very proud of him because he could have been a guy that could have went through the motions and blended in. And sometimes at a program like ours, guys can blend in and not develop. For us to be good, those kids got to come through. And it's nice 2 and 3 years down the road when you're projecting a guy to help you, he does his part because it's a credit to him and his work because he needed to do some things to give himself a chance to grow, and he's done so. And now because of that, he's playing and he's helping us. And we'll need him down the stretch and in the years to come here.
How much better has Luke Timian gotten over this last year?
He's stronger. He's always been kind of good. That was a great catch. They talk about plays made, and that was a great catch. It was a big-time play. He was one of our players, again, I didn't recognize, too, as a winning performance guy. That play was, that was a point play. That play and Nick Westbrook's play, you don't make those 2 plays, that's 14 points. Those are filled. When you're playing a team like Michigan State and teams are going to play this week, those plays get you point opportunities or make it look like you didn't have a good day. And that's a kid playing hard, kid making a play. He's from South Lake Carroll. That's one of the schools I went to when I found out about Tyler Natee. And he's been good. He was at our, we had him at camp coming out of high school, but he's just gotten stronger. And with that, he's now a little bit more competitive, and hopefully his role, he was one of those guys that really, you look at, I wish I had a scholarship to give that kid because he's as good as a lot of scholarship players we have.
He seems to be in the right place at the right time a lot.
It was the right play call. You talk play calls like the other day, because we were in a big guy set, that one touchdown Ricky Jones had went to him. If we'd have been a 3 receiver set, that was Mitchell Page's play. Just personnel was on the field. But because we're in big guys, there was 2 receivers, we got in a formation, that thing got dialed up to Rick. If we'd have been a 3 receiver set with the flaked out receiver, Mitchell would have been the inside guy, made the same play, if that makes sense. So sometimes when guys are getting balls, you're not getting balls, it's coverages, it's opportunities. And, I think the quarterbacks trust him. Sometimes whether you look away, but sometimes in one-on-one matchups, you like guys. And you could ask, I hope I don't have guys that are locking on receivers, but I think they know if they throw the ball to Luke, he's got hands, he'll come down with it. So.
Seems like he's not afraid of the spotlight. The 2 catches he had last
Yeah.
year.
And I don't know if it's a spotlight, but he's pretty good with his body in the air, torquing, and because some guys kind of, I'm not saying it's acrobatic, but he can kind of twist and turn and maintain his focus on the ball and make some. And as he's gotten stronger, he's making more competitive catches where he's kind of strong enough to finish. He'll get challenged big time by these big defensive backs this week.
Experiment more with the field goal holds. I mean, your holder for field goal sets. Are you still rotating?
Yeah, well, last week Gideon's got more time. Mitchell early felt playing offense, his emotions. It was hard to calm down after a score because he's so involved with that. He wants to take his gloves off, and he asked early, and I said, "No, you need to do it because I trust you." And then the kids just at last after we had our blunder at Wake Forest, I asked Oaks, "What do you want?" And because to me that's his team, and right now. We addressed that this morning. You need to make sure, and as coaches, we're going to help you, but you get your group right. And because he can only make a field goal when the other 10 guys do their job. If you can't snap it, you can't hold it, and you can't protect. The kicker gets all the credit. Every football plays, it's an 11-man job. And right now that team's got to get better. And so we've kind of, that kid's got a boatload of talent. He's very, very competitive. He is a great kicker. And I'm kind of putting it a little bit on him to make sure, and he said, let me have Joseph, and because we just have more time together. And not that Mitchell's had bad holes, that's what we wanted, so, it's kind of like, a lot of times you ask quarterback, which play you like, which one are you more confident in? Because quite honestly, I don't know if Mitchell's a good holder as much as I had confidence in Mitchell as a player. And I think, where Griff's like, I just like, well, I get, because when they're in practice, those guys are doing it the whole time. And he goes, I just have more time with Joseph, so we're going to stay with Joseph for now. Mitchell will be in the mix if there's an issue, injury, whatnot. Danny Cameron also does it.
Ohio State, looking at film with them, why have they been so good this year to this point?
Well, now again, they lost a lot of players, but they've recruited so well that they just have very, very talented at every position. It's very, very youthful, where there seems to be a lot of competitive spirit, where guys are fighting to get on the field, fighting to get open, to throw me the ball, fighting to run hard, so don't throw it, give me the ball against the runner. And it just looks like they have a lot of competition over there, where they got a young team that's buying in, and Coach Meyer has a great staff. He does a great job, and he's got a great team atmosphere going right now. It's a young team that's very, very talented, but playing very, very well as a team. Very, very well.
You mentioned Tigre and Marcus. The guys have obviously played from almost a gun, basically, when they got here, but now they're upperclassmen. They're kind of at the heart of that defense. I mean, is there something maybe a little bit different just about maybe the way they're carrying themselves, or obviously the way they're carrying? I mean, Tigre has had.
Well, and that's a good point, Zach, because they are more mature, and there's individual confidence in yourself as you mature as a player and as a man. But I think they got a lot more confidence in the defense, and they're a lot more sure of what they're supposed to do. And I think that's a credit to Coach Allen and Coach Inge, because I think they're not second-guessing what's going on or trying to make guys right. They're communicating the call up front. Guys up front are for the most part, doing their things properly, and now they're doing their things properly. I think a year ago, a lot of times, they're trying to make everybody right. They're trying to cover up everybody else's mistakes. And with that, you're playing with a lot of stress. And with a lot of stress comes bad body language. You don't look as mature. And so I think it's a credit to them growing, but it's a credit to the coaches, Coach Allen, and what's going on defense. I think that is probably as much of it as their personal growth.
You talked a lot about following the game the other day with confidence in your defense. That the first time, you play the team, the team wins, depending on the defense a little bit. Is that right?
Correct. I didn't like the fourth quarter deal where they could have made that stop. But again, like early in the game, I didn't think we needed to do things because of this. Now, Ohio State's a different animal. these guys, just score a lot, score often. So, but last week in Michigan State style, you felt like if they played a little closer to the vest, that if we didn't give up the big play, and we gave up the one big one early, had the busted coverage play in the third quarter, but you thought, you didn't have to be as greedy on offense, getting behind chains, getting your quarterback hit and rattled, forcing the ball. And so we were trying to get it to the second half. And in the second half, we were a lot more aggressive. And that's why, again, to me, you had to score some touchdowns. Maybe we take points that first drive. The defense, they punted. We went for it on the fourth down at the 2. They punted from the 2. We just thought, I thought we had to play with the T that we could get a little pop that didn't work. The disappointing thing to me was after that, the offense didn't do anything after we got the ball back on the 30-couple-yard line after Mitchell's return. So, but again, we thought we needed some. So as the game went, we got more aggressive. But I think early in that game, again, each game's different. We'll put this game plan together as we look at their kicking, their O, their D. This is a different deal. And what works one week, I had a coach say the other day that, your offense attacks each week different stresses of the defense because every defense is different with their structure and where you go. And, we'll try to put this one together. This is going to be different. So that wasn't the magic formula. That's just what we thought last week could give us a chance in the second half against a good team. Anything else? Thanks, guys.